Hello and welcome to Rauta's Black Metal Reviews, this time a band from Norway. I'm pretty sure that many of you already know this band called Vreid, with its now new album Wild North West, which was released earlier this spring 2021. Now this is a band that many people already know, and mostly they know for the fact that this is the kind of a torchbearer of the band Windir, which tragically ended more than 15 years ago when the band's main man Valfar unfortunately died. And originally Vreid pretty much took the torch and decided to carry on his legacy but under a different name. Why this is still mentioned is that everybody who has been following Vreid's music know that this band is made by Vreid members. I actually got to interview these guys, or well, one of them, about a year ago when they were playing a show in Turku. That was before COVID took over and started ruining things. Had a really nice conversation with the band, and what can I say? There are some old veterans in the band that have been consistently going on with the music. Now, where originally Vreid was more or less kind of carrying on with the music of Windir with its more melodic black metal, later on Vreid started to shape into a different animal, adding more kind of a rock and rollish elements, and one could even say they were called somewhat black and roll back in the days. And since that, the band has been reviewing its paths, his career, the music style and genre and all that stuff, and has been changing, evolving, taking steps forward, sidewards, and well, different ways. And some people have been totally like cool about it, really happy about it, how Vreid's music has been evolving and changing, whereas I'm sure some people think quite different. I mean, how much black metal elements you can remove from the music and still be called as black metal. Now, I don't want to be the judge here or the kind of a gatekeeper, because we reviewers are already kind of assholes in that department. I'm not going to say whether or not this is actually black metal or kind of something that is called post-black metal or whatever, because the thing here is, it doesn't matter how I define the music. Some people are going to agree, some people are going to disagree, and nothing is changed in the end. But I'm gonna say this one. This ain't your typical 1990s second wave black metal release, and it's even less first wave of black metal. Let's be clear about it. This is modern ways of doing metal that is related so many ways to black metal, but it's also kind of beyond that. Is this third wave of black metal or post black metal or whatever? I'll decide for others to judge. Let's just say there are lots of melodies, there's lots of black metal elements, but some ideas here on this album or something that some people might say, yeah, it's not really black metal anymore. Now, this disclaimer being gone through, we can take a quick look at the band's discography here. As you can see, the band has been quite active throughout the years. I mean, every couple of years, basically, there's an album coming out. Sometimes 2 years, sometimes 3 years, but still very consistent in style. And later years, the band has been putting out more singles between the albums, which is then again the kind of a thing what you do when you kind of get more recognition, get more success and all that stuff. You're not just bound to do, those full-length albums, then go on tour and then come back, but you kind of create this diversity with different kind of releases. Some bands go for compilations and even splits or EPs, and some do just albums with having these singles between to give you a little bit of a taster before the full album comes out. And as you can see, this is exactly the pattern what Vreid has been doing in 2021. 4 different singles, and then finally Wild Northwest, which was already released indeed a couple of months ago. Now this one, as you can see, which I already basically showed you, comes with a really nice looking digipack full of lyrics and also beautiful photos, or well, not photos but images, and in my opinion they really add value to this kind of release compared to what you have just on streaming service. Call me old-fashioned, but I really do like when there's something more than just a cover image and the music. When you have these booklets with lyrics and photos or whatever images, there is something definitely more compared to what you have when only in digital format. This album runs from some 45 minutes, 8 tracks, so pretty basic in that department. The songs are neither too lengthy or not exactly short. Pretty basic 4 or 5 minute tracks, except the last one, which is almost 10 minutes. Now, the style here is more diverse than many people, I guess, would imagine. Some of them are kind of a plain, basic, melodic black metal in kind of a mid-tempo department, but somewhat more energetic. It definitely doesn't slow down too much, but then again, this ain't no Next Marduk or the kind of bands that just keep pushing the gas pedal to the max. More so, Vreid is experimenting with some of the ideas which might seem a little bit weird or off in terms of being a black metal release. Now, this being said, it's kind of a warning. Some people are just gonna embrace it because, wow, there is so much more going on, because not just, repeating the patterns of basic black metal release. But some people might feel a little bit like, what the hell is going on? There are parts which don't seem to fit this kind of a basic black metal album at all. Now, I don't think they are so much a deal breaker than what it is in songwriting, which in my opinion definitely ain't the best that Vreid has to offer. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to be the negative Joe here. I'm definitely saying this is definitely on the plus side overall. But in my opinion, it's a little bit sometimes too much going off from the black metal field. And like I said, for some people that might be the actual reason to check this out, especially if you're not that much into black metal. Because even though there is this kind of a raspier vocals and the kind of a black metal melodic riffs, some ideas are something that probably would be totally for a different kind of audience than the black metal audience. So this guy could be actually the game changer for Vreid audience. Now, is it good for the Vreid fan base? That I cannot really answer. For me, compared to my previous encounters with the band, I wouldn't say this is not necessarily the right direction. Then again, if you're wanting to go to explore new territories, this might be exactly that. So it's gonna be a divider, dividing people into two. Those who are gonna abandon the ship because it's not black metal enough, and those who will just go on with the ship because it's actually something new. Now, these melodies are pretty much the trademark what Vreid is doing, and in that department the band is pretty solid and consistent. But in my opinion, the songwriting could be a lot catchier. It's not bad, once again, but it's not that catchy as the band was at its peak moments. When it comes to the production, that's very, very solid, even though the drum work is somewhat what people might keep calling too sterile. It doesn't really annoy, but it's not like organic and stuff. Then again, guitar sound, vocals, pretty okay, and what I really like is how the bass is brought on the foreground. I mean, it definitely has its own life compared to so many black metal albums where the bass is just left somewhere, out at the back and nobody gives a damn what bass is doing. Here it definitely has its own role, its own layer, so to speak, and it definitely is in comparison with the guitars, which is something that I totally like. I can't even emphasize too much how much I miss good bass lines every now and then in black metal. And here, luckily, we have exactly that. Now, my overall score is a little bit divided and a little bit, kind of on the verge of is this is good or actually just like, okay. And I would say this is a pretty good album. Overall, it's pretty good, but not mind-blowing, not definitely super or great. That is not to say you shouldn't check it out. On the contrary, I think you should give it a chance. But given the thought that this is not the Vreid you might have heard 10 years ago. If you're then again familiar with the whole chains of spectrum throughout the years and you have been following the career, you already pretty much know what to expect. It's not like Vreid is just, going through a revolution. Just shedding its skin in a way and becoming somewhat newer version of the band. Now, this being said, don't listen to my word. Obviously, check out the music for yourselves. This is out already, been for a few weeks, so you should be able to find it on your favorite streaming services or your local record store in case you prefer a physical copy. Go give it a chance, and what can I say? I hope you like it. At least the band is nice on stage, and what can I say? You decide for yourself. Thanks for checking out on Rauta. See you soon, and bye-bye.